and welcome back to another vlog. In today's video, I'm so excited because we're gonna be talking all about styling, decorating, how to get your house looking super professional, put together, give it that Pinterest wow look. I feel like a lot of these tips are things that like I kind of just naturally did, and then I had to reflect back and I had to ask myself why I do the things that I do. And I came up with 10 things that I do every single time, pretty much in every single room, like as long as it applies. So yeah, you guys, I'm really excited to share with you my home decor tips, my styling tips. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, if you want to see what my tips are, what I believe everyone should do in their home, then please just keep on watching. Okay guys, so the first one might be a given. You might have heard this before, and that is to hang your curtain rods and your curtains as high as you can. It really brings the eye up, it brings your attention up, it makes the whole room feel extremely grand and bigger than maybe it really is. This is perfect if you're working in a small space, but even if you're working in a large space, you can get custom curtains if the space is really big. You don't want your curtains to turn out to be like capris or high waters up against your wall. You want them to hang down and kind of dust, puddle at the floor, and be as high as they possibly can. It's just gonna elevate the space. If you have curtains that are right up against the windowsill, very long, it just leaves like this awkward gap, and it kind of shrinks the room. It makes it feel much shorter, much smaller, and just overall like it just looks a little bit awkward. Okay, tip number 2 is to think about the scale of the pieces that you are gonna be buying. Keep scale in mind. If it is a large space, you're gonna need to get large decor pieces. Getting small art pieces up against a very large wall, or maybe you have a large bedroom, a big king size bed, but then small artwork above the bed. I see this a lot with couches and pillows, walls and wall decor, but also shelves and mantles. I think it looks way better to have larger decor pieces on your shelf if you have a large shelf, large decor pieces on your mantle if you have a larger mantle, and just kind of keep that in mind. The opposite can go with this as well. You don't want to get a huge art piece, for example, and then your space that you're decorating is way too small. It's gonna look awkward either way. And to go along with the scale of the decor piece, you have to also think about the weight, like the actual, not like literally how much it weighs, although that could be important too, but just the weight on the eye. You don't want anything that's gonna be way too heavy or something that's just light and airy if it's a bigger space. You just have to kind of keep in mind, and you'll know what feels natural. It might not be natural for you to hang like a really big, bulky, heavy decor piece above your TV. That might not be the look that you're going for. However, if you wanted to have something around your TV, have some decor on that wall, you could balance out the heavy TV with something lighter, like sconces on either side or art pieces on either side that are smaller than the TV, to just give balance to the space. Okay, tip number 3, I kind of touched on a little bit, but that is to measure and pull out your blue painter's tape. You guys, I cannot tell you how many times blue painter's tape has come in handy. If you've been following for a while, when we tried to figure out what size TV we wanted, we pulled out our blue painter's tape and literally taped the wall out to make a TV to see if we liked that size or not. I would do that with everything. If you're considering something, and maybe, especially if you're just moving in and you're like, is this gonna be too big? We have this blank open wall. What would fit? Get your painter's tape, take the measurements of a piece that you're looking at online, measure it out up against your wall, and then just take like a couple steps back, sit down and see, is this gonna be a good size for the wall? Is this a good size for our space? Is it too big? Is it too small? It almost kind of gives you a try before you buy simulation. Okay, tip number 4 is obviously, I mean, all of them are, but this one is really one that's like subjective. It's all up to personal preference. It is your home at the end of the day. You buy what feels good in your heart. But I just suggest, and this is something that I try to keep in mind when shopping for my home, is not buying the same thing everyone else has. I know I do have a few things in my house. I really try not to do that. But for example, let me show you. This piece right here. A lot of people have this in their home. I see this everywhere, and that's because it's from Target. It is from a store that's readily available, and there's nothing wrong with Target. However, I would not buy, I mean, this is cute, like I just had to, But for example, instead of getting an art piece, like a wall art piece from Target, try to go to someplace like Home Goods. Try to get something from like a vintage store or a secondhand shop or Etsy. You can print off prints off Etsy and make your own art. You could do a DIY, something like that. I just really think that a home comes together when you have items that are unique and different to your style. Maybe it's something sentimental, maybe it's something that's been passed down in your family that you can hang up, something that's just personal to you. Rooms, homes that you're like wowed by, you don't necessarily see the same everyday type style that you see every day. Okay, the next thing is something that I've been doing for so long. I didn't realize I was doing it until I took a step back and I was like, wait a second, this is a thing. This is a common theme. I look around my house and I do this every single time that I'm decorating a space. This is something that I keep in mind. It's just second nature at this point. And I don't even know where I learned this, honestly. But whenever I do it, it just feels right. It just feels good. So it is working in threes. Keep threes in your mind. Keep the number 3 in your mind when you are decorating. And what I mean by that is actually it applies to like a bunch of different things. So the first way that I want to talk about it is when working with different tones, different colors in your space. I know I don't have that much color in my space, but I'm working on it, okay? I'm trying to incorporate more tones. But when working with different colors, you want to pick 3 different tones. So maybe you have your 2 neutrals and then a color that ties in with your 2 neutrals. Throughout my house, the common color, I guess, the common tone that I have is gray. I have different tones of gray, but if you look throughout my house, the main color that comes back is gray. And the other color that comes back within my house is white. I mean, hello. Like, those are my 2 colors, gray and white. However, I do have different shades. I have very, very dark gray, light gray, warm tone grays, cool tone grays. Like, I kind of incorporate texture and different tones and shades of gray is just woven throughout my house, and also white. So I have creams, I have ivories, I have actual stark white, I have more beigey white, and then I kind of get into like, okay, well, a gray and a beige kind of combine more like a brownie type color. So those are like the main colors that you see in my house. However, I am trying to incorporate more like warm tones, but I will say my third one that I incorporate is not really like a pop of color, but it is within the hardware. So I do have pops of gold throughout my house. So any room that you go to, there's always like a little bit of a kiss of gold throughout all those neutral colors. And if you stick to kind of working in threes as far as just keeping 2 main colors throughout your house, getting different textures, different tones within those 2 colors, and then 1 accent color, if you will, that's how you really develop a home that is cohesive. Because no matter what room you go to, what area you go to, it just feels the same because those 3 shades or those 3 colors are woven in effortlessly. So that's the first way I try to work with threes in my home. The second way that I work, was that 3? The second way that I work in threes is actually styling with 3 pieces at a time. So I try my best to, if I have a shelf, I try to put 3 things on that shelf. I feel like that just looks more natural to the eye. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's visually more natural to look at when things are paired in threes. I also like to make a triangle when I'm designing with threes. So when I'm designing, I feel so professional. This is what I like to do. So I will have 3 things either on a shelf. I'll have one that's tall, one that's maybe in the middle, and then one that's short. I try to make a triangle in different areas of the room that I'm working in. So maybe it's with pillows. I have a larger pillow in the back. I have one that's kind of like a medium size, and then a lumbar shorter one in the front. That's working in 3, and that's also making a triangle. So if you just keep that in mind, working in threes, you'll find that you're completing either a table, maybe a side table or a centerpiece or shelves or a coffee table, things that just need a little bit of extra decor. It just feels way more complete when you have 3. Okay, what are we up to? The 6th thing that I do in my space is I mix design styles all the time. And I just think that really brings a room and a home to life. I would steer clear. I feel like that's like my face. steer clear. It's like, obviously do what you want to do, but in my opinion, I would stay away from just picking one style and going with it. I feel like that makes it so easy for the room to look outdated when you do that years to come. And obviously I'm gonna pop up some images here that like we all have seen and we can pinpoint a time. So I would just pick two styles that kind of complement each other and pull pieces from there. I just feel like that looks the best. The room just looks awesome when you can see like some modern elements, but then like vintage, maybe modern and a little bit of farmhouse. I feel like I keep going back to modern because that's my favorite. Okay, and tip number 7 is the phrase that I get all the time that I like hate the most, and that is pops of color. That is like the phrase of the century. I don't have a vendetta against color. I really, really don't. However, I just feel like there's a right way and there's a way that's kind of like, However, I do agree that if you want to do color, obviously go for it, do what you want to do. But I love, if you're gonna do it, go all out. I love rooms that are just like painted a muted shade of a color, like a green, but then they also have like a green desk, and then they just go for it and go all out with the color. I think that is absolutely beautiful. I love that. That's not what I'm talking about at all. Just stick to more like muted tonals and really incorporate those like neutral colors into it so it doesn't look so scary. I think that's really, really cool. It's not personally my style, but when I see it, I'm like, okay, I can get with that. Like, that's awesome. Okay, and the 8th styling tip that I have is to create a mood board or a vision board or some type of like spreadsheet where you can drag and drop pictures to kind of create a visual of what you want the room to look like, so that you can have this on your phone. So anytime you go into a Home Goods, you can pull it up and ask yourself, okay, is this just cute for the now, or does it actually fit with the room that I'm trying to decorate? Is it good for the common good of your house, or is it just cute for now and you're gonna get it home and be like, what was I thinking? Because if you've been following for a while, you know that's like the story of my life. Okay, and my 9th styling tip is try to avoid getting matching furniture. I definitely feel like this can make or break a room, honestly. Like, the difference between a room looking awesome, fabulous, and just like everything very like architectural digest, or I'm not pinning that on my Pinterest, I'm scrolling right past it, I'm not impressed, I'm here but I'm not really enjoying it in this space, is matching furniture. That might be extreme, but I just feel like if you get all matching sets in your house, there's just no personality there. It just looks very bland and not as styled and fun and like nice to look at. I feel like you want to add visual interest by getting a couch, but then getting separate chairs that's not the same style as the couch. Maybe getting a dining room table, but then getting chairs that are very funky and different that don't go with the dining room table. I just feel like that's how you get a well-rounded space, a well-rounded room, is if things are a little bit mixed match, but they have a similar story, they have a similar color story, they make sense together, but they're not supposed to be together. I love that look. I think it looks awesome. That kind of plays in with mixing the two different, like the design styles, like modern and contemporary, or modern and traditional, whatever the names are. Mixing those two styles within your furniture just gives it a really cool look. Okay, and my last and final tip is a fun one. It's one that we can all kind of do. This is definitely an easy one, and that is in every space, I always include a plant, a candle, and a picture. Those are like my 3 go-tos in any room. Obviously, like not my kids' room, I'm not gonna have a candle, but like, you know what I mean. I finish it off with a candle, I finish it off with a plant, and I finish it off with some pictures, utilizing your family pictures, personal pictures to you, and that could even be in the form of like artwork as well. Just any type of art, picture, framed, canvas, you can get creative. A plant, it could be something tall if you have room in the space, something small, some pampas grass, maybe some bunny tails, maybe fiddle leaf tree, olive tree, whatever your vibe is, real or fake. I just feel like it makes such a huge difference, and I promise you that's like a game changer. That and lighting, this is like a bonus tip. Lighting is everything everything. I feel like with overhead lights, lamps, small lamps, floor lamps, any type of lighting, have fun, go all out. This is definitely a bonus tip. I just feel like it's very hard to be too much when it comes to lighting. I feel like lighting is that area where you could think that like, well, this is kind of over the top. I don't know if this is gonna look good. This is kind of like extreme. But then when it's up there, it never looks as extreme. It never looks as shocking. I mean, obviously there's exceptions to the rule, but I'm saying for like a general, like, girl, you know, like if you have good taste, like it's never gonna be like that crazy in the space. Just make sure it obviously fits, you measure all that good stuff. But I say think outside of the box when it comes to lighting. That's really an area where you can have fun, where your personality can really shine and come to life. I love shopping for light fixtures. I feel like that's like my favorite thing. Lamps, light fixtures, floor lamps, like all of the lighting. I'm such a lighting girl. I feel like that makes such a huge difference. Dim lights are everything. Like get a dimmer, install a dimmer. It sets the mood. Rooms instantly look 10 times better, more seductive, more alluring, and just like cozy and like, ooh, this is a place I want to be. This is a place I want to relax if you can have the light dim. So yeah, that's my bonus tip. You guys, literally, I need water. I'm dehydrated. I need water. I need electrolytes. That took me so long to film. I don't know how long this video is. To me, it's like, it's 2 hours, but to you, it's definitely not. But I really hope you all enjoyed this video. Definitely give this a thumbs up. I feel like I could keep talking about this for days and days on end. So if you want a part 2, let your girl know. I can definitely do that for you. I'm so excited and happy to be filming these home themed videos. One of you all, or I guess a few of you all have been commenting like, girl, this is your niche. This is it. These videos suit you. And I just feel at home talking about like home content. So I'm just really having fun with these videos. I'm having fun with my channel. I feel refreshed. I feel like I'm just starting a new chapter of my channel. So I'm really enjoying it. If you feel the same, if you enjoy this, if you're a home addict like I am, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. And me and all of my tips, you guys, I am like out of breath. My voice is like cracking. I'm like losing my voice. But me and my tips, we will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye guys.